Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 doo. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. Hey, today after work, I had a feeling where I was like, you know what? I need some pizza. I want some pizza after work. And I was like, you know what? I haven't gone to my favorite pizza place from when I was a kid in forever. How about I do that? So I trekked over to where the last remaining pizza place was or is, and I got myself some of that pizza, my favorite pizza place when I was a kid. It's not the location that I always went to as a kid, but it is the last location standing. And it was just really cool to have a memory lane experience at Garcia's Pizza. And I took some footage, so check out my favorite childhood pizza place at a different location, the last location. They used to have a lot of locations in a few different states, but I believe we have the last remaining one. All right, let's take this trip down memory lane at Garcia's Pizza in a Pan. First things first, I gotta show off this awesome piece within the location. Has the hot air balloon. The owners, Ralph and Joe, are maybe still are hot air balloon pilots. I haven't seen the balloon in the sky for years, but yeah, they got this balloon in the restaurant, the two of them. I think that's Joe on the left and Ralph on the right. And they're the Flying Tomato Brothers is what they called themselves. And that was the Flying Tomato, that hot air balloon. So that was really cool to see. And then they have this really awesome fireplace. I feel like the other establishment that I used to go to, I really didn't go to this location. I would go to a different location that doesn't exist anymore. Also had a fireplace. Got an arcade back there. So the arcade was always cool as a kid. Now this is the location that I really didn't go to when I was growing up, but the one I went to was on the U of I campus, and it was really cool. It had like hardwood everywhere, had an upper level, it had a lower level. That's where the arcade was. That was always fun to play in. But yeah, I love the aesthetic here. It's like, I don't know, like lost in time in a way. But yeah, it's just it was really cool to get back and check this place out. Here we got some signage with the Flying Tomato balloon. It says Garcia's Pizza in a Pan. There's Ralph and Joe serving up some pizza in front of a landscape. This place was, like I said, this wasn't the location I went to. I went to a different location, but this is, I think, the last location. So it's cool that it's still standing. They're still serving up that pizza in a pan. And a lot of the signage, you know, I remember from my childhood, which is great that it still exists. Here's the slice of the day, the seafood slice, which I did end up ordering. You can see some of the other ones that they have, like the BLT, ham and pineapple, taco slice, cheeseburger, sloppy Joe, and so on. And yeah, today's Friday, so that's what I got. That's Joe right there. That's Ralph right there. Some of the old signage that is just like straight out of, you know, when I was a kid. That stuffed pizza is actually what I came for, but they didn't have any left. They sold out of them. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool to be back in here. It's been a long time since I've had it. So this is what I got, the seafood slice, which has shrimp, and I think they said like crab meat. I also got the breadsticks with the butter dipping sauce, which is what I would always get when I was a kid. Like I said, I grew up eating this. This was my favorite pizza place when I was a kid. I love coming here with my parents. We would also, this is a gut buster right here. This is, I think, maybe what they're most famous for, which is kind of like a Supreme, basically. And then I put crushed red pepper and Parmesan on it. But yeah, we would, whenever like my school, we would take like field trips into town. Sometimes they would have us stop at Garcia's. That's where we would have our lunch, and it was awesome. That's where I got the seasonings to put on the pizza, the Parmesan, seasoned salt, and crushed red pepper. There's that little arcade area again. And then outside, they got the balloon chase van. This was so awesome to see when you were a little kid, chasing down the balloon. The Flying Tomato, pizza in a pan, Garcia's Pizza in a pan. But yeah, seeing this driving down the road, it was like seeing the, you know, like the Weenie Mobile, the Oscar Mayer Weenie Mobile, seeing this. And it's still standing. It's almost kind of like advertising So yeah, the official Flying Tomato balloon chase van. But yeah, it was always a thrill, and I love how the top has like the tomato stem on it. And a lot of the marketing, like back in the day, like I think they maybe started in the 70s or something, because my dad used to eat it like when he was in high school. But yeah, the marketing was just so awesome. Here's the van on the other side, but it's just so cool. So yeah, that was a really awesome experience going back. The pizza was good. I think, let's see, the seafood pizza, I don't think I would get it again, but, it was fine. I think I would stick to the basics, but I never had the seafood pizza before, so I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. And it was good. And what else did I get? I got those breadsticks. I loved that. Dipping it in the butter, like I said, was just like a throwback to my childhood. And I guess I didn't say this, but I got a giant cherry Coke, and they had that ice that's like dog food, like that dog food ice, shaped like dog food or something like that, which I love. It's the best kind of ice. And then I also got that Gut Buster, which again was the classic. My dad would always get that every single time we went. And again, that's kind of like a Supreme. It has everything on it. And yeah, I went for the mini deep dish, but they ran out. So that's when I was like, all right, if you ran out, I'm going to get the slice of the day, and then also a Gut Buster for that throwback. I'd always get like pepperoni or sausage, but that Gut Buster, I was like, I'm going to do what my dad did. I'm going to get that Gut Buster. So that was really cool. The Flying Tomato Brothers, again, all the advertising growing up, seeing all of that was so cool. And by that point, like in the 80s and 90s, they'd been around for a while. Like I love I think it would have been the 70s, because I feel like I remember my dad telling me stories about him going to it in high school. But Ralph and Joe, they just had like a great 70s look to them, like Bee Gees style, and long mustaches and everything. They just looked really cool, and especially when they were wearing their like pilot outfits, their air balloon pilot outfits, they just looked awesome. Anyway, check them out on social media. I think they're on like Facebook, Instagram. I don't know what their handles are, but they are good. It's a good pizza place. There's only one standing, but I like it. I got a lot of nostalgia for it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. It was a very small location. I think it was just college towns in the Midwest, and not very many Midwest states, but, University of Illinois, I don't know, Indiana University, maybe. I don't know, University of Iowa. I'm not sure, but I think there's only one left. Anyway, you ever been there? If you have, let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.